I had so many plans for filming today. My day just went out the window. I have one day a week that I get all of my filming done. Today is that day. And I had plans to film all my shorts and I had plans to film all my videos, and do you think I got any of that done? Absolutely not. My day was shot today. It was just crazy. So instead, we're here. I enjoy sitting and chit-chatting, so maybe we'll just have fun doing that instead. I don't know what we'll talk about, but I always find something to talk about. I can free flow talk pretty well, so we'll see. I only get one day a week because I am a full-time mom. I have 4 kids. People are always so surprised when I say that because I look like I'm so young, especially right now because I'm so barefaced. And I was crying earlier, not from anything bad happening. I just had a really beautiful spiritual experience happen, and it made me cry a lot. I sobbed. I filmed a short on that, so you can go find that. But yeah, people are always so surprised when they find out I have kids. To be fair, I had my first son at 17, and he is now 10. So I did have my first kid very young, and then my twins are 3. So they're obviously my youngest. I am young. I am a young mom. To be 27 with 4 kids is pretty crazy. But I am happy that way because, had I gone the traditional route of go to school, go to college, find your career, build your family, I would have been miserable in life because when I think back to that point in my life, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I thought I did, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was interested in things, and if I would have followed through with college at that time, I would be in a career that I would not be fulfilled in right now. Versus right now, I am following a passion that I know in my soul I can feel is meant for me, and I'm so grateful. And the things that led me here would never have happened had I gone that route. So I'm such a firm believer in things happening for a divine purpose. Everything happens for a reason. But yeah, so I never would be here. I got pregnant at 17 when I lived far away. Let's backtrack even more, actually. Let's trauma dump for a second. So when I was 15, my mom and I had a really horrible relationship, and I'm not saying that I was innocent, but what I needed was guidance. What I needed was to be shown love. I had no love from either of my parents. I was neglected. I was shown that I was a burden. I was shown that I didn't matter. I was shown that no one had the time of day to deal with me. I was shown that I wasn't important. I was shown that, I was a problem. Neither of them wanted to deal with me. I wasn't a problem. I was the most loving kid, and I just wanted a parent to love me. And if you backtrack even more, my mom, when I was 15, she kicked me out of the house. I had barely even turned 15. I came home from school, threw all of my things in my front yard, and a cop met me there. She said I could only leave if a cop came, got all of my stuff off the front lawn, and took me to a house that my dad owned, but he didn't live there. His girlfriend did. I had never met his girlfriend. All because I was texting my dad because my dad had been in prison most of my life, and I wanted to have a relationship with him. And my mom was so mad that I came home from school to all of my stuff in the yard, and she just kicked me out. Fast forward, that relationship with my dad's girlfriend and my dad obviously was not good, so I ended up back with my mom, and we moved to another city, and we went south, and that's when she didn't want to deal with me. She didn't have the time for me. She didn't have the energy for me. She didn't want to sit and talk to me. She didn't want to give me, the love and attention, and I was just a big problem for her, and whatever. Teenagers suck, okay? We all get it. But I really didn't. I just wanted my mom to give me the time of day. I just wanted my mom to love me, and she would while I was gone, lock the door and then call me in as a runaway. Mind you, this was in Wisconsin in January, December, when it's cold out, and she would lock me out and call me a runaway. What am I supposed to do? There was times I slept on the porch just so she couldn't do that. It was so bad. So then I went to school one day. She picked me up, put a paper in my lap that was a bus ticket, and she put me on a Greyhound bus by myself from Wisconsin to Tennessee to live with people that I had my dad's distant family that I hadn't seen since I was like 5-6 years old. Talk about abandonment issues. My dad didn't live there, mind you. My dad lived in Detroit. So I don't even know where I was going with this story. And to this day, my mom will tell you that I was a problem child and that I was so bad and I ruined her life. Those are the words that she uses to this day. And I believed it up until 6 months ago when I did the healing work and did breath work and realized I was never the problem and I just wanted to be loved and I just needed guidance. But I went to Tennessee and I lived there for a year and I got more lost than ever. I was alone. The people I lived with hated me. They did not like me at all. They hated that I was there. They didn't like me. I was a burden to them. I had a job at Hardee's and they wanted to know where my money was all the time, and which it went on a debit card, and like I was a teenager, I blew my money on Sonic and shit at Walmart. Like I didn't have my money. I didn't know where it was. But yeah, so then eventually I got pregnant at 17. Shocker. I wonder why, like that one was a surprise. So then I took a Greyhound back. And side note, yes, the Greyhound experiences as a teenager alone going across the country were terrifying. I almost got kidnapped and trafficked. It was horrible. I had horrible experiences on these Greyhounds. I still cannot believe she did that. Like, I would never put my kids on a Greyhound. I don't know if I would take a Greyhound with my kids by myself. That's terrifying. That is so unsafe. But, I mean, maybe they're safer now, but I can tell you back in 2014, never. I would never do that again. That was so scary. But yeah, so then I moved back. Still was a problem. I had to learn really quick to figure it out. Because then I was 17 with a baby. Couldn't even sign a lease. Did not have my driver's license. I had nothing. And I had a mom who just like had it out for me. She was my only family and she had it out for me. And was constantly in my head about how I ruined her life and I continued to ruin her life and this and that. So then as soon as I turned 18, like, I was out of there. Me and my baby, I was poor ever since. Granted, now I've tapped into collective consciousness and I know what I'm doing. But back then, oh my God, I struggled. I struggled so hard. I was so skinny and poor. And what did I do? I had more babies because I thought that was the answer. No, I did have another baby with the wrong person because I thought that would fix our relationship. He was a drug addict and in and out of prison, and I was trying to save him. Classic young girl in love with a lot of daddy issues and mother issues and abandonment issues, and I thought that would fix it. It didn't. It didn't fix anything. Mind you, this is the kid that I started dating in high school, and I'd seen him be an addict for years and years and years at this point. He's still in prison now, mind you. I do not speak to him, but he's in prison for attempted He used to have a heart. I used to be able to see a soul behind his eyes, but like now, I don't. Like, the last time I seen him, I didn't see anything. He scared me really bad. So I think a lot of the choices that I made, I looked, stupid. Like, why would you stay with these abusive men for so long? Why would you keep going back? Why would you do these things? I just wanted to be loved my whole life. That's all I wanted was a family and to be loved. So I went back to, like, the abusive guy, and then I dated another abusive guy, and I tried so hard to stick it out with him. I tried so hard to make it work. I tried so hard to make him love me. The harder that he pushed me away, the harder that he made me feel like shit about myself, the more he made me hate myself, the harder I tried to make him love me, the more I did. And he really, really, really made me hate myself. He really, really, really made me feel like shit. But I'm a firm believer in it takes a relationship like that to completely destroy you for you to come up and find yourself again. Because I don't know that I ever would have stopped had I not had the world's worst relationship. That relationship was awful. Because yeah, my other relationship, he might have been horrible. He might have been a drug dealer and he was physically abusive to me. He did some really messed up things to me, but like, He didn't do the mental and verbal and emotional abuse that the second relationship did to me. That was the one that mentally messed me up. That was the one that, like, yeah, it sucks and it's horrible to be physically abused. It really, really is. But the mental abuse is insane. That takes true healing to get over. And even that's hard. Which is why I got into coaching, is because I felt how it is to heal. And through becoming a coach has helped me heal so much. But I think I needed that. And that's when I finally learned that it's not by finding that love in somebody else that's ever going to make me feel that fulfilled. That love that I've been missing since I was a little girl, that I've always wanted, that I never received, it's not going to come from somebody else. Because my subconscious will never let anybody else in, because I've been shown distrust. So I might be chasing it subconsciously, but I'll never let it in. I have to show it to myself first, to show myself that it's safe. Then I can let other people in. But until I do that, no matter how many toxic people I chase, trying to get that, it's never going to come in. And that's the thing too, is until you heal those things, you're going to keep chasing the same types of people, which I've talked about this on my channel and the science behind it before. But when I had my near-death experience, because my last relationship, the night that it ended, I almost lost my life. I had a spiritual awakening and a really spiritual experience while our physical argument was happening. I don't know how to phrase that. I don't know what YouTube allows. But while that was happening, I had like the craziest experience, and I think I've talked about it once on this channel already. Oh, I can't find a good spot to sit. This is my kid's chair, and like, it's not made for adults, even though I'm the size of a child. While it was happening, I had this, like, I don't know if it's a vision, but it wasn't. Like, I was mentally gone. I don't know where I went. I was, the last thing I remember is like being on the kitchen floor. This is a trigger warning, I guess, because I don't want to like trigger anybody, because this is domestic violence. But like, we were laying on the floor and I was on my stomach, and he was like straddling on top of me, holding me down, and he had his knee into my thigh, pinning me down, and he had one elbow here pushing me down onto the ground so I couldn't breathe, and then he had one of his hands holding both of my hands on the floor, like above me, so like my head was turning like that, and then the elbow that was holding me down, he had my phone, and he was deleting the pictures and videos that I had taken of him being abusive. I don't know how long we were like that, and I had tried to tell him that I couldn't breathe, but like, because of him pushing on my throat, I couldn't really get anything out. And then that's the last thing I remember. I remember because like where the kitchen and the living room met, there was like a threshold of carpet and tile, so like we were on my legs, I remember feeling my toes on the carpet and my face on the linoleum, the tile, and that's the last thing I remember. And I don't know if it was from like lack of oxygen, or if I just like went out of it. I don't know what happened, but I had this experience of like blackish / orangish everywhere, like a big empty space. And it's like 2 film strips, and the top one was every super traumatic or near-death experience that I've ever had. Like the one that was currently happening, the 2 really bad car accidents that I had been in that I almost died in. There's one other incident, domestic violence related, from my other ex, when he almost ended my life. And some other stuff. All in like the boxed film strips, you know what I mean? And then the bottom one was, because like the 2 months leading up to this, I had been like deep diving into healing and spirituality, and like really quickly like elevating my consciousness at a rapid rate. I was obsessed with healing. And so it was all of these really crucial things that I was learning. And it was like them going this way and crossing over. And without words, I could feel that it was like, you're still here to help others learn. You're still here to guide others. You're still here to teach others. And it was without words, and I could feel another presence with me, but like, I couldn't see them. I couldn't tell you. It kind of felt like a male presence, but I couldn't be sure. but I could feel them with me. And it wasn't like I was feeling my ex, it wasn't his presence. It was like somebody standing with me, like a protective energy. And so, in the days after everything happened, because that night, then whenever we came out of it, I fought, finally got my phone back, called my mom. She called 911. He got arrested. End of discussion. Haven't really seen him since except for in court. But yes, we call parent, but we have to use a third party. Whatever. The day, like the first week after that, I was traumatized, but like so hyper focused on that spiritual experience that I had that like I didn't even give a shit about what was happening with my domestic violence. I had 4 fingerprints on my, because he had also strangled me, and that it was a whole mess. But like I had 4 fingerprints on my neck for a week that were bruised, 4 of them. And I was walking around with bruises all over my legs, everywhere. Like this horrible thing had just happened to me. It wasn't even about that. All I could think about was the spiritual experience. Now the trauma healing from the night came after, and I obviously like it hit me after, and like everything came after with that. But like the initial, all I wanted to like process and deal with, and I hyper focused, was like the spiritual experience that I had. And I knew I was meant to guide and be a coach. So then I took a deep dive down coaching and healing, and like it was a whole year of just like, oh my God, like this is all I can think about. This is all I want. I can taste what this is like I need to do this. And I don't think everybody has an experience like that. I'm not saying I'm special by any means, but I'm saying like I had such a profound experience, and I think it's because I ignored so many things for so long. I ignored how many abusive relationships between my exes and my mom and my dad and like however many different people. I ignored all of these abusive relationships. I ignored all of these, like my jobs did not treat me with the respect I deserved. I never had a voice of my own or a backbone. So like I had to go through this experience in order to get a voice. I never had a voice for myself. I never stuck up for myself. I never loved myself. So I had to go through this to get that. But I don't think that I would be here today doing any of this had it not been for all of those other things that happened. Had I not gone through all of these really shitty things, I wouldn't be here. I'd be living some regular Joe Schmo life, never really feeling fulfilled. Like, yeah, if you're happy with that, that's great. But to me, life is so much more than that. There's so much more here. We're not just put on this earth to like go work a 9 to 5 and have some time with our kids and then get old and have a few good years of retirement. That's not why we're here. That's not the point in life. Like, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And that human experience is to break out of the matrix and break out of that and learn that there is so much more to it. I think that the point in life is to recognize and like realize that you're not just a human. You're not just here. Success isn't just getting a good job and making good money and having a pretty family and that's it. That's not success. I will consider myself successful if I have achieved certain, spiritual things in my mind. There are certain things I want. I want to be a good person genuinely. I want to help people genuinely. I want to awaken people. Like that's a goal in my life. I want to help people awaken. I want to help guide people. I want to help people in general. That's how I know I'm successful. Not a certain college degree, not a certain amount of money in my bank account, not a certain house, and not, whatever. The most successful thing that I have done in my entire life so far is stand up to my abuser and to cut off my mother. I love my mom. I love her so much, but I had to cut her off because I couldn't grow. I was on such a beautiful incline spiritually, but then she would pull me back because her energy was not there. And when you look at energy, if you're here and someone else is here and you're constantly with that person, you can't keep growing if they're pulling you down. You can't do that. So I have to love my mom from a distance and know that she's out there living her best life. And I know she's out there talking toxically of me and doing toxic things. She's out there with, I work in the service industry. She has left fake bad reviews about me. We haven't talked in months. She's out there doing these negative things, and I have to love her from a distance and know that this is just how our relationship has to be. I want the best for her. I would love to help her heal, but she is not there, and I can't force somebody to be there. You have to learn that not everybody is going to be on their healing journey, and you have to accept it. You have to accept that you have to leave certain people behind, and you have to grieve that and move forward with your life and learn to just love them from a distance, because you can't bring everybody with you on your expansion journey. You just can't. But you have to know that you will meet certain other people, and you will find new relationships and new people who are on your same energetic frequency, and you will love them so much, and they will support you in ways that you have never been supported. My mom never supported me. I finally, in the middle of all of this, of rebuilding my life, like when I left my abuser, I had to start over from scratch. Single mom, 4 kids, no money, no house, had to figure out how I was going to go to work because I had no babysitter. I had to figure out everything from scratch. And in the middle of all of that, I was able to buy a new car. I was so proud of myself. And my mom's like, I wouldn't buy that if I were you, but like, I guess, good job. That lack of support, that was like the first moment that I realized like she's not going to ever support me in what I want to do. So you have to realize, you know, and I'm not saying you have to cut everybody off, but like keep the people close to you who are supporting you and encouraging you to do better. Don't, just because you love somebody or you've had somebody in your life for so long doesn't mean that you need to keep them in your life. If they're not encouraging you to elevate yourself or to move forward or do better, then that's not going to help you move forward and do better. And you don't have time in this short life to waste on that. It's going to hurt, but you're going to heal because you know how to heal. You know the tools, and you know where to find the tools. My channel has lots of them. I guess I'll end it there. I've talked a lot. I've rambled a lot. I've shared a lot. Let me know what you thought down below. Let me know what else you want to hear down below. I've kind of been on like a ranting, talking kind of kick lately. Just kind of chatty. Let me know if you liked that. Kind of experimenting with different videos lately, seeing what vibe I like. I like teaching, but I also like talking and chatting. So let me know what you thought. Other than that, I will see you in the next one. Bye.